Halo. Cześć.
Probability of survival critically low.
A, tutaj jest.
Finally. I thought I'd never find you.
Jax, you're here. You
Ratować.
came to save my life?
Actually, I still don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Should I ram my gun down your throat now or after you explain things?
I see. I take it you've spoken to the Skyans.
Did you really think you'd keep your story secret forever?
No, but I hoped I'd get the chance to explain everything to you before the invaders did.
You've had plenty of chances. If things hadn't turned out this way, you probably would have taken the secret to your grave.
Maybe you're right, but perhaps we should get out of here before...
You're not going anywhere. Not until you tell me everything you've done. To me, to humanity.
Wszystko przez Dawkinsa wysługów naukowców.
Seems I don't have much choice. All right, let's talk about it if we must.
When did you find out about the comet heading for Magellan? Was it before or after you started planning to live forever?
The comet wasn't the beginning. I first sighted it 5 years before it crashed here. But even before that, years before, when I was still a young man, I observed a much more significant phenomenon in the sky.
The singularity.
Osobliwość.
All my research, all the observations, all the calculations, they all told me this was an incredible discovery.
Nie wiem, co to jest ta osoba.
It was the answer to all the questions humanity had ever asked, and more. Much more than that. But I didn't have the resources then to fathom its true nature. Then, years later, when the Infinite Skies Corporation was founded, I had my chance. Unlimited resources. Everything I needed. And still, I couldn't really comprehend what I was seeing. It seemed to turn all the laws of physics, all the laws of nature, on their head. The results of my research and the lessons I learned from the Singularity's behavior brought me fame and the recognition of my colleagues. But even when many of them tried to denounce me, I continued my research, though I soon reached the limits of what I could learn.
How did you create Elex?
Elex.
I didn't. It was there all along, in the Singularity itself. Elex is a part of it. It just needed to be modified and adapted to humans. I was getting old then, increasingly aware of my mortality. I realized I would never reap the rewards of my work if I didn't...
Find a way to live forever.
Yes. Even there, the Singularity helped me set the wheels in motion. But I couldn't do it down here on Magellan. I had to go up, to the Singularity itself. It was the only place with the right conditions. But the journey would have taken far too long. I needed a faster way. A technology you've seen for yourself. It's been a feature of the skies for years, ever since the war against the Alps.
You mean the strange ring the hybrid created?
Correct. An artificial wormhole. A bridge from this world to another. I sent a group of scientists through it. They came back more than 160 years later as highly developed, immortal
Przecież
beings.
zabiłem jedną nieśmiertelną. A, że wiem, o co chodzi.
Why didn't you go yourself? Why leave it to others?
Because of the comet. This rock, this tremendous destructive force on a collision course with our world. I was afraid if I went with them, we'd return to a planet reduced to rubble and dust.
And that's exactly what happened. You didn't stop it. Whether you were here or on the other side of the galaxy.
It wasn't a question of whether it would hit Magellan. The question was whether humanity would survive.
You could have saved the planet. You could have changed the comet's course with your spacecraft.
I tried. I was the one who started projects like Cassandra and Callahan.
Kalan.
But when panic breaks out, well, few people are willing to pull together for a common cause.
How did the first Elex get into the comet?
My Cassandra scientists had to hurry once they reached the Singularity. They quickly had their first success. They sent Blue Elex back to us on a carrier rocket. But soon after launch, it became clear it would never reach Magellan. A fatal miscalculation they could do nothing to correct. but the rocket could reach the comet that was fast approaching the planet. So they steered it onto its path, and soon the Elex was here, and my work could begin.
Your work to prolong your miserable life at the expense of millions of other lives.
Yes, a tragedy, I admit.
What about the DNA replication? Why did you share your genes with me?
I've been trying to prepare the planet for the arrival of the Skyans for years. That's what the Albs and their directive were for. And for a while it was working. But once the Albs set up the first converter in the lands of the Free People, the tide turned. The hybrid, that thing I was a part of once, sensed resistance among the Albs. There were a lot of skeptics and even saboteurs, especially among the technicians. The foundation of a hostile group, the Separatists, became inevitable. But there you were, a highly effective and confident commander. Even then, your willpower was a thing to behold. I replicated my own DNA with that of the Alb with the greatest mental strength I could find to protect myself and my legacy. It was a backup, if you will. Being in the hybrid capsule prevented me from doing anything as mundane as procreating.
That explains your interest in my son. But you won't be going near him again. I'll make sure of that.
Przeszczepić też.
After the replication, your willpower became even stronger. You were the only one who could resist being promoted to Alexander. Even implanting a control chip in your head had little effect. That's one reason I chose you to establish and lead the sixth power. If anyone can stop the Skyans, it's you.
How did you manage to smuggle all those scientists aboard Cassandra without anyone realizing it?
At first, nobody knew anything about the comet or any spacecraft. Of course, once things were in the open, I was forced to share my research with everyone. Research that might save a lot of lives, maybe all of them. But Cassandra was to be my project. I kept it secret to make sure it didn't suffer the same fate as Callahan. All people did was argue, blaming mistakes on each other. I couldn't allow that to happen with Cassandra. So
you got rid of anyone who could have talked about it, right?
it was a dark time. Not one I'm proud of.
Your scientists, or whatever they are now, spoke of the singularity as if it were a god.
Isn't it? It contains secrets that no one, not even I, could ever discover. Not in 1,000 lifetimes of research. It gives eternal life. It creates new life forms from nothing. It decides whether we all live or die.
Principal Teac says it's moving towards us. It could hit us at any moment. And from what you're telling me, this is nothing like a simple comet. This will destroy us all.
So what is it, if not pure divinity?
Stop fucking with me. How do we stop it, genius?
The Skyans have been set on their path from the very beginning. It's this plan that drives them. It's their reason for being. The reason anyone who gets in its way is destroyed.
Oh yeah? So what is this plan?
All in good time, Jax. We need to survive this war before we can move on to the next one.
Where does this great willpower come from? What did you do to me that even the Skyans don't understand?
The gifts to exercise great power over Elex are rooted in the configuration and harmonies of an individual's DNA. And willpower is one of these gifts. There are others, such as superhuman creativity or imagination, or superhuman strategic and mathematical problem-solving. You and I are not just the humanoid anomalies the Skyans would have us believe. We are Elex elementals, my friend. Our gifts give us the power to shape both ourselves and the fate of the world.
Why the sixth power? Why so much effort?
Because the Skyans want to level the planet, and I no longer have the power to stop them. I'm not one of them anymore. I'm their enemy.
Who can blame them for wanting you dead? All these elaborate schemes, all that effort, for such a long time.
Well, that's the price of eternal life, and I'm paying it now.
And so is everyone else, you bastard. You're nothing but a murderer.
Maybe, but the Skyanids are far worse. Just
And what about what we did in those converters? Squeezing the Elex out of people.
what is it you want, Jax? Justice? World peace? What's that compared to standing before God and
Że
being
zabijanie
granted
jego to może
eternal
być
life?
najlepsze.
You've done nothing but lie and... Well, I'm done. The super soldier you bred to serve you quits right here and now.
There's no need for us to be at odds, Jax.
Of course there is. It's
Fine, if that's... If I win, I...
enough.
Big mistake!
Kurde. Adron.
Shit!
Dron sobie stał.
Shit. I don't know. Damn it. That son of a bitch. Doesn't matter. I need to keep going. Otherwise, there'll be nothing left to fight for.
Probability of human survival within critical range.
Zbawca. Siła, siła.
No, just can't do that yet.
Zbawca ulepszony. Ekwipunek. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery. Weźmy, załóżmy to. Topór kapitana ulepszony. Tak. To mogę założyć. Idźmy do kleryków na chwilę.
So much for new shoes and all you can eat. Who's guys?
To wy co z Dexem? Jest gdzieś tu. Harding. A, to żeby ulepszony mieć. Dobra. Learning points. Walka wręcz.
Now, get to it!
Co mnie nauczysz? Pancerz. Pełna ochrona. Okej. Dziennik.
I want to see continuous movements. No
Mamy 4-4 poziom, tak? No,
everything. In a combat situation, you will not have time to think.
You are
Slack off for
crawling.
1 second and the enemy will punish
you
you.
for crony.
Ekrom need... Last but not least, we need to get... That's...
No i co ja
You
mam teraz
there,
zrobić?
maggot. Is that how your grandpa fights? Put some fucking effort into it. Never let your guard.
Ekrom.
I see you've come to your... You will never bring that woman near me
Mira?
again.
You've made that abundant. Your robots gave us a really warm welcome at the end of the road to Caracas, by the way. Thanks for that.
Yes, I admit I acted rashly.
Tamta.
However,
I get it. Nasty can make anyone's blood boil.
perhaps
What's going on? Any news about the Skyant's troop movements?
we recently had word that a large formation of their troops. I wouldn't be surprised if they've already taken up.
Super, dawno nie walczyliśmy, nie? Z 50 tysiącami przeciwników.
They will launch an attack soon. We must prepare for the onslaught.
Oni chcą Elex.
You shouldn't have go...
I have tried. The principal leading them clearly indicated that he will. He wants our Elex. Needless to say, that is not. It can't be helped. We will not.
I could try and stop them outside the depot.
That would help us a great deal. Even if you.
Man. Wardek's actions are and always have been motivated by his fears of going cold turkey off Elex. It's hard to believe if you'd seen him the way he was. The commander in charge of the Ice Palace.
Czy jest stanowisko do ulepszenia broni? Dobra, ja wezmę. Hardium by mi się przydało. Szkoda. A nie mamy hardium.
Shit.
straciłem tylko manę.
Those soldiers tried to capture the depot. If the Skyans are now entering open confrontation like that, we don't have much time.
Dobra, zbierzmy wszystko. Mimo że zbieram Elex cały czas, to jednak nie mam go jakoś dużo.
First Callahan, all the remaining computing units in Magellan. A silent but effective attack on our systems. Now the sixth power. I'll go through the plan of attack in Maricor with Thialk. We'll free the territories from the invaders. But what then?
Probability that Cassandra will cooperate, 0%.
Yeah, I know, little guy. Her machines aren't taking any half measures. Nobody can match up to their...
Analyzing.
Also, I still don't know how we're supposed to get in. Let's take care of the other things first. I'll figure out...
Na tym koniec.